last week we talked about story. Anybody change their story? Anybody want to do a collaboration? Because Tater from the list, Kat, Jay, Liliana and Heather, Avery, George, and Victoria were going to do their own story. I apologize if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. That's to Liliana and Heather. Or we could do a collaboration. Oh. So Jay, who's going to do collaboration? I just saw that briefly. Who just sent that last text? Who's going to do collaboration? Jay, you're doing one?
Me, Jay, and Avery are all going to be doing one together with the same characters, but different stories.
Okay, so Tater, Avery, and Jay are going to work on a collaboration together. Very cool. Laura, did you decide what you wanted to do? Are you going to do your own, or are you going to do a collab? Would you like to do a collaboration? Can you hear me, Laura? You going to do your own, or do you want to do a collaboration? Undecided?
Is it all right if Heather Rose and I do a collab together?
You and who?
Heather Rose, us two.
Yo, yeah, absolutely. I kind of expected, I thought that's what you guys were going to do. Yeah, no, you guys could do your own. Absolutely. Thank you for asking. Keen, did you still want to do a collaboration, or did you want to do your own, buddy? No worries, Laura. Okay, well, all we're doing is we're making a small comic strip or comic book. Well, what we do is we could talk about it and see what part you want to do, like what story you want to do. Because I know Nathaniel, who I don't see today. Oh, there's Nathaniel. Sorry, Nathaniel. Thank you. Nathaniel had an idea for a thief. Do you remember that? So his idea was we're going to make a small story about this thief. Whatever the thief did, you guys can decide. And then we will make a little comic strip out of that. That's kind of what the idea is. Or you could do your own. You could have your own idea, make your own story. Nobody, did you want to join us? Or are you going to do your own story? Don't worry, Keen. We'll explain it. You'll get it. It's not, you'll have it, no problem. Laura, you ready? Did you have want to do your own, or did you want to collaborate? Oh, you're on that collaboration with Jan Taylor. Okay. All right. That makes that easy. Thank you for clarifying that. I apologize if I misunderstood. And I think Kat was going to do her own as well. So we got Jay, Tater, Laura, Avery, Liliana, Heather, George, and Victoria were going to do their own. Nathaniel, Keen, and myself were going to do collaboration. Lot is not here. And Mr. Nobody, what did you want to do? Did you want to do this, or did you just want to hang out? Yeah, Keen, you can get my email, and you can contact me, and I can help explain it to you if you don't understand it, or I could do a private chat with you also. It's not nothing to stress out about. It's real easy. It can be simple or hard. It's up to you. Okay. All right. So it seems like we're all in our little categories and boxes. Yeah, it doesn't have to be anything specific. Nathaniel has an idea, and today we're going to talk about character. So Nathaniel might have an idea of what he wants a character to look like. And you two can either decide if there's going to be a secondary or third character. So for your stories, let's take a look and see, have any of you have a story plot, a general idea yet? Tater? Laura, do you have one? Oh, good. All right, would someone like to share what your story is? Because it might be able to help the other people develop ideas, help them understand like what to aim for. Nice. That's pretty specific. So Jay, Tater, Laura, and Avery, and you are all going to work on that one with your characters? No. Oh, you're doing, wow, that's more interesting. That's cool. So whose characters are these? Are they all your characters? Very cool. So you got 3 characters and you guys are going to do different stories with them. Is that it? That's pretty awesome. I like that. That's a good way to start something. Liliana and Heather, what is your story? Do you have a story idea for you?
It's pretty much going to be kids who are going to be fighting monsters. It's kind of hard to explain because it's such a loose idea right now.
No, hey, that's fine. But you have an idea, and that's where everything starts, is just an idea. So Keen, what we're doing to help you is everybody's writing a story. Everybody's writing a story. So if you want, if it's easier for you, Keen, you can make up your own little story and do your own little comic, if that makes it easier for you. You know, because then you don't have to contact anybody. I gave my email out at the end of the last workshop, and it was a way for people to contact me if they had questions. So I'll try to give it out again. And if you write the email down, you can contact me if you have any questions. And if you want, you can have an adult or a parent contact me also. So today we're talking about characters for your story. Tater, you got any sketches you want to share with everyone to give them an idea of what we're working with and what we're trying to do? Thank you. Okay, who's that?
This is Otter, the character that I made for the collab. And then these are 2 of the characters. I'm working on sketching in the 3rd right now that are in the comic world.
Very cool. Did you do like a model sheet or anything for them yet?
Not yet, but I do have a reference sheet. Not a full turnaround though, just like little notes and such.
It doesn't have to be a full turnaround. Just enough to give reference to your character. Since it's such a short time frame for us to try to finish this, you don't have to do a complete, full set but it gives you something to start with. So if you want to go later to flesh out your character, you know, then you can, but this, you have something to start with. And then you can share it with your other artists, your other people on your team. And then when they do the cartoon, they can try to follow your model so that the character, either you're doing it all in a different style or the character looks the same. So there was an episode of Bob's Burgers where they based it on fan art. I don't know if anyone saw it, but people drew their own versions of Bob's Burgers characters, sent them in, and they made animations, little short clips based on the style. So you can have the same characters, they can be drawn differently, or they can be drawn the same. Very cool. So who else? Well, I think that's it right now. Okay, so Nathaniel, you still with us? Nathaniel, there? Okay, well, I guess Nathaniel's out right now. Oh, okay, so you care to share what you have for your thief character? I'd like to see that.
I don't
And his
really
team-
have anything right now. I
Oh,
haven't
no?
sketches, no. I'm gonna draw it right now.
Okay, give me an idea. And Keen, here, if you want to draw a thief character, if you want to work with us on this, you can draw your version of the thief character too. And we can work together to try to decide which direction we want to do. Anybody having trouble with their characters or their story? Hey, Jay, thank you for joining us. I heard you're doing a collab with Tater, Laura. That's a cool idea. That's a cool idea.
This is my in progress.
That's awesome. Okay, so Tater's character is called Otter, right?
Yes.
And who's that?
This is Kalani.
Spell it.
It's here. Wait. Klani.
Kalani.
Yeah.
Nice. I have a friend named Kalani. Yes, he's from Hawaii. And what was the third character? Who's the third character? So Otter is Tater's character. Kalani belongs to Jay.
I think Laura's gonna share their character.
Laura had the third character. And what was her character? Do you remember? Beetle.
It's Beetle.
Nice. You got some cool characters, everybody. I'm looking forward to the story. So as long as you guys are in touch with each other and the story, because next week, first week was story. This week we're talking about characters. Third week we're going to be talking about setting and layout. And the fourth week is where it should come together. So you guys can draw, like I said, different styles. It doesn't have to look exactly the way the other person, but if you could get your sizes approximate, for example, Nathaniel wanted to do a thief, and it character depends, like what's your thief going to be doing? Is your thief going to be tall and skinny? Is your thief going to be a buff guy? Is female? It's going to be a lady? So these are different things to think about, you know. He could be a kid. The thief could be a kid. It could be an animal. Thief could be, if you want to be a kind of guy, he's on the big side. A thief could be a cat, a squirrel. Squirrel would make a good thief. a lizard. I thought about doing a story of my own based on the lizard.
I'd like to share a sketch.
Yes, please.
So, sort of like a tall guy, and this is drawing him.
Okay.
So I'm gonna make a model sheet right now to show how to draw him. It's not that hard to draw.
Okay. So it's a start. It's our character. So quick question, Nathaniel. Keen is going to be part of our team on this. So you guys may want to do a little conversing in regard, or we can talk right here. What's the story? What's the idea behind the thief? Do we have a story on what the
He'd
thief
like
is?
to share an idea.
What was that?
He'd like to share an idea.
Okay.
He's flipping a banana after he rubs him with ice.
Hey, I like that action pose. There you go. So we could have that as part of the story where the thief slips on the banana. So that can be a story idea, right?
Yeah, there also was a mouse trap. I kind of edited that out because but I edited it out because it was too hard to draw.
Well, we could work on different parts of the story. You know, like Nathaniel said, he's trying to do a character, a model sheet so that it'll help us draw the character that he's making. You can make another character, Keen, if you want. You can make another character to be part of that story. Liliana and Heather, do you have a sketch of your characters yet?
Yeah, basic one.
Hey,
I drew this one. Heather, this is Heather Rose's.
nice. See, so is that about their right heights? One's tall and one's smaller?
Probably this one's shorter, but the scale is a little bit off.
Okay. No, that's good, because remember earlier when we talked about contrast? Size difference makes when they were doing Pixar, Buzz was about this big. Let's see if I can. Buzz, Woody was about this big, and Buzz was big enough to like stand on his shoulder. Buzz was about that tall compared to Woody. And that's contrast. You have big and small, but it was challenging for them to be on the screen at the same time. For them to share the screen, and if Woody was talking to Buzz, Buzz would have to be like on a table or in Woody's hand for him to hold. Buzz was too small, so they ended up making him bigger. But the idea was he was small because he was a futuristic toy. So he's small, but he had all these cool gadgets. He could fly. He had a laser. So that's something to think about when you're doing your characters, is how many characters you're going to have. You can have background characters, people that are just standing around, but they're not involved in the scene. You get just to take up background, and your action might take place in the foreground. You have people just sitting at tables having coffee in the back. The thief story can be simple enough where maybe the only thing involved in the story with the thief is maybe a dog. So maybe, okay, so we talked about the thief slips on the banana. That's a story idea. That's one part of the story we can have happen. Character, we have a thief. We have to have something else. In a story, we have conflict. There's a challenge. What's the, Tater, in your story, because I know Jay, you, Laura, Avery, you guys are all doing separate stories. What's the premise of your story? What's the idea behind the story? What's the basic idea? The conflict. Can you hear me, Tater? Do you have a story yet?
Mine is roughly like they're all going to a movie theater, but they never planned out beforehand what movie they were going to see, so they're standing in front of the theater arguing about it.
Okay. Think about it again, because it's 1 or 2 pages. So you want it to keep it simple, right? You don't want to get too complicated, because then you're going to have to draw each of those things out, you know? So the conflict is they don't know what movie to watch. So maybe something happens and they get confused and they each all end up in a separate movie and they never get together to watch a movie together at all. They end up watching, they get stuck in separate theaters. Or someone gets stuck and then one of them goes outside to look for another one, loses his ticket, can't get back in the theater. Just another idea for a story. Going next to, George and Victoria, thank you for joining us. Just to clarify, are you folks doing your own story, correct? Very cool. Okay. Today we're talking about characters. Do you have your characters? Last week we talked about story. Do you have your story idea or your characters? George and Victoria. Okay, you're doing your own. Good job. Do you have a story idea yet? Something you'd like to share? I just want to see how people are progressing.
I'd like to show a model sheet.
Please, that'd be awesome.
So I drew out everything that, oh, sorry, that was a picture. Drew out everything that you need now. His eyes must be higher because if you draw him too low, it won't look good. And his body must be a pear shape, and for the nose, draw 2 circles. One must be big and small. And the eyes are just simple ovals, and draw little black things above them. You can see that.
You're headed in the right direction, my friend. Good job. So Nathaniel, since I got you on camera right now, what is the objective of the thief? What is he trying to do? You said he doesn't succeed. That's the premise, is he tries to steal stuff, but something happens that he never succeeds in.
Well,
Keen, I'm sorry, Nathaniel. Keen, you can do your own story, absolutely. With your own characters, absolutely. That you have your choice. Okay, Nathaniel, I'm sorry, go ahead.
so he's mostly trying to steal everything. He's your ordinary thief, and he always fails at it. He never succeeds at it.
Good job. So do we have a specific thing he's trying to steal right now, though? Like for this comic?
Well, maybe if I would draw him going to a museum trying to steal like the world's largest diamond, and just it's too heavy, he tries to pick it up. It's just he tries and tries, and he tries all these things to get it out of the museum.
That's a good idea. It's a very good idea. So take that idea and then you rough it out. So you have a beginning, someplace where it starts, how it starts. Maybe he sees a newspaper, you know, world's biggest diamond or something like that catches his eye. He sees a poster, and then that starts it in motion of him trying to steal it. And then you might throw that's a good one. That's a good one, Keen, the crown jewel. So you have your character. So maybe the beginning is a museum. So your first panel might be a museum. And you got a lot of people in front of it with cameras and someone at a podium. So you got a museum, and you got a lot of people in front of it. And then the next panel cuts to the gentleman at the podium or lady, whoever it is. And they could be talking. We're honored in New York or LA to be able to display the crown jewel. And it'll be on it arrives, and it has her talking. It arrives tonight and will be on display this weekend. So then, from this scene where we have the lady and we got people around her, people in the crowd. So maybe from that scene right there,
Today is Wednesday, March 10th.
we have someone off to the side of the podium. Maybe your robber standing over here,
You're on mute.
Yes,
and then he gets an idea.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be on the discussion soon because I have a few ideas.
And he gets an idea. So that starts the idea of him trying to think of how to steal the jewel. So that could be a beginning. That's one possible beginning. One, it could be one beginning could show a newspaper. With a big diamond on the front and saying something about, you know, crown jewel arrives this weekend. So those are just a couple of ideas for us to start fleshing our story out, because this next 2 weeks, it's going to move fast. And by the last week, hopefully it's ready to go, because we're going to collect all of your work. You can have color and or not. Color just makes it a little more challenging. But if you do have color, you could do simple color. Suppose you have a story and the thief is trying to steal a red balloon, and you're in a park. And there's a lady sitting on a bench. She's got a little stroller. But then maybe tied to the stroller is a red balloon.
I'd just like to say from the museum idea, in the picture, it kind of looked like he was in the audience. And I was thinking, well, that wouldn't be that great, because wouldn't everyone already know he's a criminal? So shouldn't he be like watching it on TV, like live?
That's an idea. But if he's in the audience, right? he could be in disguise. He could have a hood on, right? He could have a hood over himself. He's not standing out. He doesn't want to stand out, right? You know, but that's another good idea. He could be at home. So you can open with TV. You got drapes, maybe soda cans on the floor, a banana, garbage. You can make it look dirty. And then you can have the announcement with the lady at the podium and the people around her on the TV. Now, what this is doing, these are basically storyboards. Doing comic sets you up to be a storyboard artist because you're taking a story and you're boarding it out. So you're the director, which is kind of cool. You're the director, which is kind of cool. So you call the shots. For the one for the thief, back to Nathaniel's story, since we're talking about it. This is a medium shot. This is a medium shot right here. Kind of an establishing shot showing you, what's the picture show you? It's a TV, it's a messy place. This is dark, curtains are drawn. And the only thing that you're looking at is the TV. So that's the highest contrast you're being drawn here. Or another way you could do it is you have a can, maybe he's drinking a soda. You got the arm of the chair. And
I
you got
have
the
an
TV.
idea of maybe there's like bags of chips or food on the couch. Like maybe he was eating some food, maybe he's sleeping, maybe he wasn't really paying attention. But when they showed like the thing at the museum, maybe it will catch his attention.
There you go. Did you guys see Toy Story 2 where Woody gets stolen by Al's toy barn? I'm sure most of us seen it. You seen the scene where Woody is trying to sneak through and Al's got all those cheese puffs on him? And he looks over and Bullseye is eating one of them? Great scene. It could be something like that, where he's on the couch, asleep with potato chips on him. And it mentions the crown jewel, and he's like, what's crown jewel? Money, you know. That's a good idea. That's a good stuff. So Nathaniel, I hope you're writing these down. Keen, I hope you're writing these down because these are going to be part of the story. These are good idea, Keen. This isn't that hard. You're getting it. You're just helping us write this story. But that's the fun part. And you can change it however you want. And for you folks out there doing your own comic, you choose the angle. You choose if you want to show your character a worm's eye view, where if you want to show your character down by someone's foot, and you're looking up like at a counter, suppose your character's a dog and it's looking up and there's a cake up here on the counter and you're down here, you call the shots. You're the director. You call the shots. You're down here and you're looking in, and maybe you're drooling on your owner's foot. Or maybe you want to be on top Maybe you're on top of the counter and you're looking down at feet, and the dog is looking up at the cake from the floor. So when you write your story, how do you want to tell it? From the perspective of the dog? Are you the dog in the story? Are you the thief in the story? Or are you a fly on the wall? Are you just somebody watching from the outside? You notice in some movies that they'll give you the perspective of the character running through the woods and the camera's moving all around. That's where you identify with the character. So it makes you closer with the character. For the thief, we probably want to be a fly on the wall, just watching him do his thing, if that's, you know, what you want to do. And maybe at some point, if there's a cop, like Keen suggested, maybe at some point near the middle or end, as we wrap it up, we get it from the cop's perspective. So, George and Victoria, do you guys have do you have your idea for your story? Yes, welcome. I know last week you were unsure what you wanted to do. So are you going to do your own story, or are you going to join, or are you going to, hi?
I am going to, I'm going to make a pizza thief.
A what?
A pizza thief.
What is that? I like pizza. What's a pizza feast?
I mean, a pizza thief. He just steals pizza from all, and he only, for some reason, steals pizza from across the world. And every time he steals a box of pizza, he goes back and goes to the same restaurant across the world.
That's awesome. I love pizza. Pizza thief. See, that's specific. Very good. Am I pronouncing your name right? How do you pronounce your name?
Lottie.
Lottie. I apologize, Lottie.
It's okay.
Okay. So Lottie's doing a pizza thief, which is pretty cool. That's going to be fun. So Lottie, do you have a story idea, like where it starts, and do you have like your character? Do you have what's your character about? What's he look like, or she?
So he always has a black beanie on, like one of those classic TV ones.
Yes. It's a
And
great.
Since he eats a lot of pizza, he's kind of like, his body is oval shaped and his head is just a circle.
Okay. Nice.
For some reason, I couldn't say circle.
That's okay. That's okay. You know, you're on camera, and sometimes people get a little nervous. Have you sketched him out yet? Do you have any sketches of your character?
Yes, but only on this device.
Okay. Well, great. Because last week we talked about story, which there's a beginning, middle, and an end. And it can be about anything. Like as simple as someone walking in, there's a banana on the ground, someone left it. This guy slips, he falls, and, you know, he lands on his face, the end. Simple story. It doesn't have to be really complex, because you have to keep in mind, like, again, this is week 2. In 2 weeks, we're going to try to finish these, and hopefully we'll have enough information and material from the project that we can print these and make an anthology. So a little book of all the comics. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Well, thanks, Lottie. I appreciate you sharing. Thank you for coming and joining us today.
You're welcome.
Nathaniel, Keen, and I are working on a thief one as well. It's steals everything. He's not just pizza. That's funny. A pizza thief. That's cool. Lilian and Heather are working on their own, where their character fights monsters. Laura, Tata, Avery, and Jay have their characters they created. Otter, Kalani, and Beetle, which is a cool cast of a nice mix of different characters. Sure, go ahead, Tater, please. What do you got, buddy? Hey, very nice. Okay, so point out who's who.
So Otter is yes, Otter's this one.
Okay.
We got Kalani and then Beetle at the bottom.
So quick question. How long is your that looks great, by the way. How long is your comic gonna be? 1 page, 2 page?
2 to 3-ish pages, most likely.
Okay. Because if I make a suggestion, that drawing right there, if you want, that'd make a great title splash page. That, or a great, if you condense it and moved it up and cropped it off a bit, that'd make a great like leader to the rest of the comic strip. Nice.
Keen would
Very
like
well
to show
done.
drawing.
What was that?
Keen would like to show a drawing.
Okay, Keen, what do you got, buddy?
There's a pic of the useless night guard. Remember, he is not buff. He's just.
Hey, I like, hold him up again. I like him, and that's the security guard.
Night
Cool.
guard.
All right, so work on the security guard because we're gonna need a couple of different angles of what he looks like from different positions, his head turned around, and then Nathaniel can focus on the thief. So we got 2 characters. The security guard, cop, and the thief. So we can, if we want, we could add another character that's pertinent to the story. If it'll move the story around. So stuff to think about, but it looks like you guys are doing really well. Looks like all of you are doing very, very well in regard to your story, your ideas. Sienna, are you going to be participating with us on this? Hi, Kat. I didn't see you come in.
Be able to come to class. This is just the one day where I happen not to have soccer practice today.
Ah, bummer. But I wish it was the day we were doing more drawing. But right now we're developing our characters and story. But I'm glad you joined us. I mean, hopefully you can take something out of this. When you're drawing your characters, they don't have to be finished. Like I said, this is quick and fast. A lot of times it takes a month just to do your character design, you know, because you're trying to finish up your character, make it tight, make it clean. You know, we all take pride in our art, so we want it to be a certain way. It doesn't have to be that way for this. It could be a little loose, a little rough, but it depends how much time you want to spend on it. You don't want to spend too much time just because we only have 2 weeks more to go. Lottie's off to a good start. Jay, Tater, Laura, off to a good start. Kat, you're doing your own story. What do you got so far?
I have the story picked out. I've got a character too.
I like your background.
I'm trying to do some very rough sketches of what I want it to look like.
Yeah. Again, don't pressure yourself too much. Don't beat yourself up. It doesn't have to be perfect, but as long as it conveys the story and your idea, what's your story?
I'm just gonna have a dragon hatching, kind of depict some of the expressions on dragons in the hatching cave or by the nest.
Great, because from my understanding, I'm relatively new with CJCC for this round, but I've been with the company for a while. I used to teach in person a few years back. So what you can do, now this is something to think about, you guys. For those of you that are really serious and want to take this someplace, we're probably gonna have more comic series. So, like Kat's doing with the dragon, you can do your series of the dragon hatching, and at the end to be continued. Because then when we do another series of comics, you can continue your story. Something to think about on how big you want to make this or how small you want to make it. I could see Tater thinking, like, yeah, there's possibilities to make, this could be just the introduction of a character. But that's a good idea. You could show your character hatching, and then maybe the next time we do comics, you could show that dragon growing up and learning to fly or learning to shoot fire or whatever your dragon. Not all dragons need to shoot fire. Maybe you could have one that shoots water. That's different. That's taking the dragon story and twisting it. But yeah, who says it has to be fire? Could be water. Could be lightning. Well, we'll work on it, you guys. So make sure you get, hey, anybody, hey, nobody, you gonna share with us?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
You were focusing on the topic of characters, and if you
Yes,
know
sir.
or not, I have a video game character,
Okay.
and it does have a story to it, so I would count it as a story.
Okay.
I just added a couple of animations,
Ah.
like all of his sides, like you were mentioning.
Uh-huh.
Some emotes. I also did some over here, but these are nothing special. I've already done these.
Okay. Very good. Thank you for that's cool. Good job. So what's this character's name?
Blocko.
Blocko. I like it. Can you show me a picture of him again?
Yeah, sure.
Blocko. All right. Cool
He's a
character.
platformer game I'm developing.
So you got this Blocko character. Do you want to make a story for him? Is he a two-dimensional character?
He's a two-dimensional character that has all angles, kind of like, I don't know, a retro Sonic game. He's 2D, but he does have 3D animations.
Okay. So what would you like your character to do? Think about what your Blocko character could do. Think of it, what you would like him to do. But you got a character, so that's a good place to start. But what if Blocko? What if Blocko met a circle or a sphere? Maybe
I might
Blocko.
take the advice as a sidekick in a way.
Okay, there you go. There you go. So you can, in your story, you can have Blocko meets Circle, and they become friends. And that's your story. They meet and become friends. Sphero.
Okay, maybe it can kind of
Sphero, great ideas. Good job. Thanks for sharing.
Maybe it could be a thing later in the game because I spent a while developing all of Blocko's main moves and the level design, so I wouldn't take all that to waste. So maybe when you're halfway through the game, you meet him.
Yeah. So that could be your little comic strip, is that part where they meet him. And it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to be a big elaborate thing, but it's a fun idea. It's a fun idea. Well, thanks for sharing. That's awesome. So we got 5 minutes left. I'm going to put this up on the screen so everyone can see it. And I suggest you email me soon so that we can help you get this ready. Darrell at chuckjonescenter.org. No point at the end. No dot at the end. Darrell at chuckjonescenter.org. Please write this down, especially Keen, Nathaniel. If we're going to work on this together, please email me so then we can get together to make sure we're on the same page and what parts of the story we're going to be working on. And if you guys are in touch with each other already, that's great that you guys could collaborate and work on your own stuff. If you have questions about your character, you have trouble with your story, you're not sure what to do, if you change your mind, you want to collaborate, don't hesitate, you know. But, you know, I'm proud. You guys did great. Everybody joined in, participated. Everybody's...
I just want to say, oh, okay. I was going to say, could you put that in the comment section, but it already is. Sorry.
No worries. No worries. But no, it was a good turnout today. Good. Sienna, thank you for joining us. I hope you could join us in the future where you can get something more out of this than just us talking about our characters and our story. But we appreciate you having you, because there's always something to get. There's always something to learn. We got a few minutes left. Anybody have any questions, want to share anything? Okay. Email me that, Keen. Email me that information. Same with you, Nathaniel. If you can, either scan or take a picture of your characters so I can see them, and that's something I can work with. Oh, okay. You want to share it? Let's share it. We got a few minutes.
This is basically a rough draft. The suit, big nose, emblem thing, and I have no idea why I made the hair like that, but
Hey, it's a start. It's a start, you know? It's a start. His hair doesn't have to stay like that. His hair can change. Oh, Rosebrick, thank you for joining us. Okay, well, if nobody else has anything else to share, I think we're going to be wrapping it up. Rosebrick, did you got something you want to share real quick? Nice hand study. Very cool. Okay, so are you doing the comic?
I'm actually on break this week, so it's the only week I can join classes. But I just made like a small one because I just want to contribute.
No, you're off. That's awesome. Thanks. Well, if you can, because this is going on for 4 weeks. And the first week we talked about story. This week we're talking about character. Thank you, Jay. Next week we're talking about setting in layout, planning it and paneling it out for the page. And then the fourth week we get ready to print. If you want to do that on your own, where you want to lay it out in the comic strip form, send it to us. We can still try to make it part of the printed anthology. You know, you may not be able to join it, but from what you had, it sounds like you got the heart to want to do it. If you have the time, you're more than happy to participate in that. But that was fun. I like the yo-yo guy. Anybody else have any questions? Thank you, George and Victoria, for joining. Hey, thanks, everybody.
Thank
Hope to see
you.
you next
Bye.
week.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Goodbye.